It's time!
Gustin time. So creepy. So that's fucking weird, eh?
Welcome, everyone, to Gustin Time. I am James. That's Shonna, and we are back. First show of 2026. It's been a while, but, it's the holidays. What are you going to do? So today on the show, we are going to talk about all of the weird shit that happened to me and to Shonna and to someone else, actually a few someone else's, since November. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on. I've got video of it, so you're going to get to see it. But before we get going with that, we have some unfinished business. If you guys remember last time on Gustin Time, we did a little remote viewing experiment. And I wrote down a symbol in this book, and we asked everyone to try and remote view it and see if you could figure out what I drew in this notebook. So I guess I'm just going to show you guys what I drew. Can you see that?
Oh my.
I can tell by someone's reaction that it's probably a good thing. Let's see. What did you come up with? That's awesome.
It doesn't have. Was that something in the middle? I didn't get
Yeah,
that.
it was the letter Z right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close. But what's really weird is that came to me instantaneously. Like I didn't try. So that just came to me instantaneously, like right after we finished that episode where you drew it.
Whoa, really?
Which is not what remote viewing is supposed to be, though.
No,
So
that's not how you remote view.
No. So I drew it anyway because I was like, that's just weird. So then when I sat down and actually remote viewed it, I was still seeing circles for sure, but I'll send it to you so everybody can see more.
I'll put it in.
Because I put a few things on here. The first one was just what came to me, and that was most accurate, and that is not remote viewing.
Well, actually, that is remote viewing. They say the first thing that pops into your head is usually the most accurate.
Right. And
so,
I feel
but
like
you didn't remote view anything.
I feel like and it's all the same thing, right? Like I just feel like it came to me after that episode. I didn't really sit down and try. And then when I sat down and tried, I think I was really struggling with what I was doing because I have done a lot of like little exercises with people where we try to see what each other's thinking or what each other's holding.
Right.
And I'm very clairvoyant. And so I was using those methods for those things instead of so I had to keep going back and saying, look at the coordinates and think about the notebook.
Right.
So that's interesting.
So you might be a natural remote viewer in that sense, because I mean, it happens to people randomly sometimes. I've read even more about remote viewing since the last episode, and it seems like sometimes it just fucking happens. But I mean, it's the same thing as being a psychic, essentially, when that happens. But I know you don't know that symbol. I know you don't, because that symbol actually has a lot of meaning to me. That was something my dad used to draw on his notebooks in high school.
Oh, wow.
So that symbol goes, yeah. But
when I kept seeing what I was seeing immediately kind of like reminded me of a compass, kind of like a circle with the fucking,
Yeah, that's
anyway.
That's 90% of what I drew.
Yeah.
So
wild, man.
That's fucking cool. I didn't expect to have something that amazing.
Well, I
You
want to
know,
keep trying it though. I think we should keep doing this
I think we should. Yeah, it was a lot of
because I
fun.
want to see what I struggle so much when I try and do the remote viewing.
Right. But
Anyway,
if it just pops into your head, I mean,
that's yeah.
that's that's better than remote viewing, I think.
Don't know. Okay.
But on a side note there, stay the fuck out of my head. You don't
Right.
want to be in there.
And I thought that too. I was like, well, we've known each other for so long and stuff like that
Right.
too. I'm sure that probably could have played a role too, you know?
And I think years ago we tried to do something like this once fucking like 10 years ago or something. Because we've been talking about weird shit forever.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but that's fucking awesome. If anybody else tried this experiment and you got something that's close to what I drew, let us know. That's fucking cool. I mean, it's not like we see each other ever. I haven't
Well,
seen you in person in like a year. So,
well, we're weirdos and we've had weird
yeah,
experiences, and that's why we do this. And so it kind of makes sense to me.
it does. It
Surprised,
does.
although I thought I was going to do really horribly.
You did fucking amazingly, apparently. All right, so let's get into this shit that has been going on in this house. So, a little backstory. I've probably talked about it before, but I am once again living in my childhood home. I grew up here. I lived in Massachusetts for 8 years, and I came back last February. Um, my dad died in this house. My sister had her ghost experience in this house. Um, and it's funny because on the Halloween episode, I legitimately out loud said, I'm not much of a ghost guy. And I think something kind of got pissed off about that because what happened after that is just crazy. And it started on November 2nd. I have some lanterns. Here's one of them. They're remote control. They've got this knob on them where you can turn them on and off. But they hang over here by my podcasting desk, and my bed is on the other side of the room, and that's I have all my remote controls over there and stuff. So on November 2nd, after the sun went down, I don't know what time it was, but one of these lanterns just turned on by itself, and I was like, well, it's got to be interference from a remote control or a radio signal or something. But I live in the middle of nowhere. We don't even have power lines to this house. It's all solar power. So it kind of freaked me out, but I just blew it off and just went about the night, went to bed. And then nothing happened for a few days. And then on November 13th, the same lantern turned on. But it turned on in the middle of the day, and there was no one in this room at all. Door was closed, lights were off. I was out doing some shit. I came back in here to get some water, and the fucking lantern was on. Well, that's weird. This has happened once before. And I think that's when I told you for the first time that stuff was happening. Because it was the second time. I can't fucking understand this. So I have an EMF detector, and the first thing I did was sweep for EMF. And I thought maybe it was, lines in the wall or something, but there's no electrical lines in that wall. That wall on the other side of it is a staircase that goes down. So there's
That's
nothing in
not
that wall.
creepy.
It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy, but I'm a weirdo, and I've had quite a few experiences in my life, so I didn't think much of it. So I just shut the lantern off with the remote control, which is actually kind of hard to do because I have two of them and they're controlled by the same remote control. So when you turn one off, the other one turns on. So I have to stand there for like 5 minutes pushing the fucking button to get them off at the same time. But didn't think much of it. And a couple days go by, and on the 15th of November, happened again. So I turned it off manually. I turned the knob off. And as soon as I did that, the other one turned on. I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on? Because I don't have the remote. I don't even know where the fucking remote control is for this thing. So that was weird. So I turned the one I turned off, I turned it back on, and then I turned them off with a remote control. Because I was like, all right, I'm going to see what the fuck's going on. Because now it's starting to interest me. I'm like, I don't know what's turning these things on, so I'm going to see if it'll do it again. And of course, as soon as I do that, nothing happens. Right. So a couple more days go by. Now we're on November 16th. And this has happened a few times. November 16th, I was actually butchering some meat. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set up my video camera in the corner. I'm going to point them at the lanterns and see what happens. I set the camera down. I don't have it on a tripod or anything. I just set it down on top of my record player. And I go to walk away. And as soon as I let go of the camera and start to walk away, the camera turns itself and it's pointed right at me. Well, I didn't do that. It's not like it's sitting on a level surface. There's nothing plugged into it. How did it do that? So I'm like, all right, well, that was fucking weird. So I set it back up, pointed back at the lanterns, and I go about my day, and nothing happens. Then that night, both of them turned on at the same time. So I did an EMF sweep again, and there was nothing. I took the batteries out of the remote control. I put the remote control in one place and the batteries in the other place. Nothing happens. And then the next day, they turn on in the morning. So I'm like, I put the batteries back in the remote control and I turn them off. And I try and turn one on manually, and the battery's dead. Well, that doesn't fucking make any sense because it was just on. So I plugged it in to charge it, and I went back about my day. You know, like, oh, that fucking thing turned on with a dead battery by itself. That's pretty fucking weird. So the next day, after I charged the lantern, the other one was dead. So I'm like, oh, I'll just experiment with this one. So I go about my day, nothing happens. And then when I finally get back in here and trying to chill out at the end of the day, the one with the dead battery turns on. And this doesn't fucking make any sense. That one has a dead battery. I know it does. So I turned it off and I tried to turn it back on. Yeah, the battery's dead, but it turned on by itself. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's something fucked up with the knob. So I turn it back off and turn it back on, and nothing happens again. And I try and turn it on with the remote control, nothing happens. So electricity came from somewhere and turned this fucking lantern on by itself. And at this point, I'm getting really excited. I don't get freaked out by this stuff anymore, but I was getting excited because oh shit, something's happening. This is going to be great for the podcast. And throughout this whole time, I'm talking to Shonna constantly about this stuff because I have to have a witness. I'm trying to show my family this stuff turning on by itself, but no one else, whenever someone else is around, nothing happens. So then we're at November 20th, and fucking thing turns on by itself again, just one of them. So I turn it off. And then at 5:17, they turn on. And I turn them off, and they turn right back on again. All right, well, I don't know, is something trying to communicate with me? What's going on? So I'm fucking around with it, and I give up because nothing's happening, and nothing happens until 10 days later. It's November 30th, and I'm watching the football game. I'm watching the Broncos play the Commanders because my sister's boyfriend's a Commanders fan. And I'm like, I want to see him fucking beat the Commanders. So I'm laying there, I'm watching this football game, and the lanterns aren't doing anything, but a hand materializes in my bedroom and floats across the screen of my TV. At first, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh, it must be my foot. I'm like, wait, I'm not moving my foot. And that's a fucking hand. And I could tell it wasn't like some fan putting their hand up in front of the camera because it was too big and it was between me and the TV. It was kind of like this milky white color, and it was semi-transparent. You could kind of see through it. You could see the light coming through it, but it wasn't moving like a hand. It didn't go like that. It just went, but there was no arm. and it was so weird. I immediately
Was the
told
hand
Sean.
like this, like a palm, or like
Yeah,
all
it was.
weird,
I,
or
I
like
couldn't
what?
tell. I couldn't tell if it was like this or like this.
Okay,
I
but
couldn't
like
tell
a
if it was
palm.
left or right, but it was open palm, just like that.
Oh wow, okay.
It was so weird. Did you see that?
I seen a
The
light.
the lights just got really dim and then got bright again. I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay. I'm talking about it now. It's happening again, I guess. So a couple days later, it seems to go in like a cycle of 2 days because now we're at December 1st and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to go to bed. I've been watching YouTube videos or listening to a podcast or something. And as soon as I shut my eyes, the fucking lantern turns on. Like the moment my eyes close, the lantern turns on. I'm laying there in bed and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So um, I turn it back off and I'm like, well, I can't sleep now. So I put on a movie and I set a camera up in the corner because now I've got some shit happening. I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie, let the camera run just in case something happens. And holy shit, I caught it. For the first time, I caught these lanterns turning on by themselves on video. And I'm going to put that video right here. It just happened. I fucking got it on video. There's the remote control. Holy shit, I finally got it. So the lanterns turn on and I'm fucking blown away. I don't know what the hell's happening. You can see me get out of bed and go turn on the light. And I walk over to the cameras and there's excitement in my voice. I'm like, I fucking got it. I finally caught these things on video. So let's see. And then it's the very next day.
So he's telling me
And
this shit, and it's giving me chills. Like
yeah,
in real time, when he's telling me this shit, I'm like, he's just telling me over Messenger, and yeah, it's
yeah.
still
And
giving
then
me chills.
I sent you the video, right?
Oh
That
yeah,
that that night I sent you the first video.
yeah.
So the next day I set up the camera again. And no, this is when I was watching the movie, I think. Yes. Yeah, this one was when I was watching the movie Black Phone, which is fucking super creepy. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's awesome. Uh, there's a point in the movie where a Pink Floyd song comes on, and it's an instrumental, but there are lyrics. It's in an airport, and it's just announcing departures and arrivals and shit. And then there's this creepy voice, and it says something really weird about leaving and arriving. And you can see both of the lanterns turn on. So I start talking to them, and they start fucking flipping out. Like they're independently changing between settings, which you can't do with the remote control because there's one remote control for two of them. So if you change a setting for one, the other one changes with it. But you can see these lanterns just flickering back and forth between settings. And it seems like it's responding to the questions I'm asking.
Yeah.
So I ask, are you dead? And nothing happens. So I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. But I keep asking all these other questions. And one of the questions I asked was, do you mean me any harm? And they flicker back and forth. So I'm like, oh, well, either that's a yes or a no. Either way, it's unsettling. But this goes on for a little bit. And then they just stop. They're on. I think, I don't remember if they're on different settings or not, but you'll be able to see that in the video because I'm going to put it in here. All right, it's December 2nd, 2025. Setting this up to see if I can catch those lanterns doing any more weird shit. Here's the remote control. It's the only thing that turns it on and off other than the knobs. Oh, wrong remote control. This one right here.
I made you some breakfast.
Where'd you put that?
They're on a different setting than last time,
Salt and pepper.
so we're gonna set them to flicker.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Turn them off.
You're already down here. What do I need to drug you for?
Take the batteries out. I'm going to leave it under the camera. Take the batteries. And put them over there on my dresser.
Don't go upstairs.
I'm going to turn off this light, finish watching the black phone,
It's a trap.
and we'll see if anything happens.
Are you froze?
Nothing's happened today with the lanterns anyway. The shop vac turned itself on earlier today,
He's the baseball player.
right below this room
We don't play.
in the downstairs half of this house. My mom was using the shop vac and
Who are you?
turned it off, and then it turned itself back on. So
Did you play?
we'll see if anything happens.
I delivered newspapers. Philly. You're really sold. Maybe.
Hello? Hello? You can hear me. Whoa. Okay. Are you dead? Do you mean me any harm? What the fuck is going on?
No fucking way.
Are you still there?
I knew that he was hiding something from me down here. Holy Mary, Mother of God.
Please. Help. Can you call my dad? Call my sister.
Oh, listen, don't worry. He's not here. He had to go into work. I'm Max, man. Stay calm. Wonder if he's freaking out this morning.
Are you still there?
Hey, you want to know the story about how I found you, man? Hey, no. Don't worry about it. We can talk about this.
Well, that was fucking weird. But that was really fucking weird. So at this point, I've ruled out electrical phenomena going on in the walls. I've ruled out radio signals. It's not from any other remote control because that's the first thing I thought. The remote controls these days use infrared. And I'm like, well, it's probably a signal from one of these other remote controls that I have that's interfering with these lanterns. But that can't be it because I'm not using any other remote controls. It's just I'm fucking watching a movie and these things just fucking turn on by themselves. And it's starting to get really weird. So the very next day, the day before the anniversary of my dad's death, they do it again. And I catch it on video again. So I've got 3 videos of these lanterns doing all kinds of weird shit.
Okay, so these things just turn themselves on again. So I thought I'd do a little experiment. So I'm going to turn them off. I'm going to set the remote control over here. Actually, I have an even better idea. Okay, I took one battery out. I can't get the other one out. Let's see. Maybe I can use this. Come on. Get out of there. What the hell? I know. I'll use my handy dandy knife. Get that. Alright. Batteries, cover, remote control. Nothing. Alright. Hello? Is anyone there? If you can hear me, turn on the lanterns. Are you trying to get my attention? Do you want to be seen? Are you... I don't know what you want. I don't know what to do. But if you want people to know something, if you want me to know something, turn on the lanterns. I'm trying to communicate with you, and it seems as though whatever you are, you like to turn those lanterns. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, once again, remote control, no batteries. This is the 3rd time these things have fucking turned on tonight. And the thing is, they never turn off. They only turn on, and I don't understand why. But I guess I'm just documenting shit now, because I don't want people to think I'm insane. But you guys just saw that, so... cool.
And also, this is we're now December 4th. So I guess the night before, when the lanterns were doing all this weird shit, it was 2:00 in the morning on December 3rd, and I audibly heard 3 knocks on the wall. It woke me up. And it's the same wall that the lanterns are against. And I know it's not somebody on the other side because there's nothing on the other side. It's an empty stairwell. It's 2:00 in the morning. So that kind of freaked me out. And all that stuff happens on the 4th. And the 4th is the anniversary of my dad's death. And that got me to thinking that maybe it was my dad trying to contact me. But I've been around this stuff enough to know that when you think it's something, it's probably something else trying to impersonate something, especially if it's a deceased relative.
Hmm.
I've heard a lot of things about low level entities, and that's usually what comes through in a spirit board or a Ouija board because they're tricksters. It's a
Yes.
trickster spirit, and they're trying to get you to feed them your energy so they can become stronger.
Yeah.
But I've read enough books. And one of my favorite books of all time by George P. Hansen is The Trickster and the Paranormal. So I know all these fucking tricks. And the trickster goes back as far as human history. There's some stuff that said, well, here's a real fact that not many people know about. Cloud makeup, we don't know where that ever came from. It just kind of showed up. And I think it has something to do with the trickster spirit. So
Why so
I'm
many
pretty
people
sure.
are afraid of clowns,
Yeah, there's something
including myself.
ingrained. I fucking hate clowns too. Happy clowns,
Right?
specifically happy clowns. And I know why I don't like happy clowns. Nothing should ever fucking be that happy. It's scary when something is that fucking happy. You're walking around with a smile on your face all the time. There's something wrong. So, yeah, I mean that whole 2 day span of activity was just it was insane. I didn't sleep very much at all. I'm like, I'm starting to get a little freaked out now. Because I mean, all of this stuff's happening. I don't have an explanation for it, and I'm the only one seeing it.
And he's sending me
There's
messages like in the middle of the night.
yeah, in real time because I was like, well, I'm too lazy to write this down. I have to tell Shonna now, so when I go back and write it all down, I have timestamps. So sorry about that.
No,
But
it's all good.
you're my human journal. So nothing happens on the 5th. Nothing happens on the 6th. But December 7th, I'm just waking up. It's early in the morning. I can hear my mom's dog just running around being a jackass. And my bedroom door opens by itself. Now, that's very hard to do because there is a latch on the outside of my door and there is a deadbolt on the inside of my door. And to open the door from the inside, I have to pull a little chain to open the door. But I didn't. I could hear the latch. I was like, oh, my mom's fucking walking into my room or something. Nobody there. Door just opened and it creaks. So it was extra creepy. Early in the morning, this door is just opening real slow. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I haven't even had coffee. Can we just calm down for a minute? And so I go about my day and come back in after splitting wood or something, and the fucking lanterns are on. I'm like, all right, well, today's going to be one of those days where I have a lot of activity. Wrong. Those are the only two things that happen. But later on that night, I get a message from Shauna. And what happened? Your TV turned on
Yeah.
by itself.
Yeah. And I usually discount that kind of shit,
Right.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever. But because I knew what was going on, I was kind of like, and I think you even said, I wouldn't be surprised if things started happening to you. I
I
believe
did
you
say
said
that. I
that.
did say that because there's
And
there's a lot of important dates around the early part of December for both of us. So
yeah.
I
So
don't know. I was like, expect it.
the first time it happened, because I have pets too, and so it's
Right.
very possible that they can step on the remote or it's somewhere and but
Yeah.
it was specifically pointed the other direction up on a table where nobody could have touched it. And it not only happened one time, which I just am like, whatever, usually when something like that happens once, but then it happened a second time too.
Yes, and that happened on a different day.
On a different day.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that one too because something else major happened
Oh,
to me on that day.
skipping ahead.
Well, not much. It's only 2 days in the future. Because right now, well, I guess it's more than that. But so that's December 7th. Crazy shit happens to both of us. Nothing happens for a few days. We're on December 11th. At midnight on December 11th, the screen door to my house opened and closed by itself. I couldn't hear it. It's downstairs, but my sister was home and she heard the screen door open and close by itself. Normally, we wouldn't think anything of it, but there was no wind. The screen door was latched when we all went to bed. So this thing opened and slammed by itself. It had to be pretty loud for my sister to hear it because she's a good, there's 2 rooms between her and the door, and her, she's got her own bedroom and stuff. So she heard it at midnight, and that was weird. But, at this point, I'm used to weird shit happening in December. So then the next day, it's December 12th, 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and there's a series of knocks on the same wall. But it's not just 3 this time. It's a series of 9 knocks. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm fucking stop it. So I actually said stop it out loud and I went back to bed. But when I woke up a few hours later, I was like, you know what? That seemed more important than I think it was. So when I was a little kid, my dad used to teach me Morse code with a flashlight because we're big outdoors people, and he used to go hunting all the time, and I'd go with him. And he was teaching me Morse code so we could communicate with each other after the sun went down and stuff, or before the sun came up. So I looked up Morse code, and these 9 knocks, specifically, they were 3 sets of 3, very distinct. And I looked up what it was in Morse code, and it spelled out DAD. So at this point, I'm like, is this my dad, or is this something pretending to be my dad? But at this point, I'm convinced that it has something to do with my dad. It's that time of year. I never got to see him after I moved to Massachusetts. I'm back first time. All this weird shit's happening. Now it's spelling the word dad on my wall at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, which is honestly something my dad would do. He told me, when I die, I'm going to haunt your ass. So,
That's a good bit of information I didn't know.
Yeah. That's also the same night your TV turned on by itself again.
Mm.
So the 13th, was on the phone with my old neighbor in Massachusetts. She just got done cleaning her floor, and the batteries popped out of the handle of her Swiffer when no one was touching it while she was on the phone to me. So I'm like, well, there's another connection with her and the day that my dad died. Her grandfather died 2 years after that, and she took the call in the same room I took the call about my dad in my apartment. So that it's all fucking weird. All right, we're almost done. This is the last one. There's 2 more. December 18th, it's midnight. I'm waiting for my mom to get home because I like to make sure she gets home safe. I look out the window, and there's this fucking purple ball of light just zooming around in the driveway. And it looks like it's looking for something. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got a trespasser. So I open the window, I yell, hey, and no response. It just keeps doing what it's doing. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go get a flashlight. So I go get a flashlight. I go back. It's still out there, just kind of meandering around. I turn on my flashlight, and immediately, no more light. So I go downstairs because my sister and her boyfriend are still up. I'm like, did you guys see anything? And they're like, no, but we really can't see the driveway because the bottom floor of the house is kind of underground. But my sister's boyfriend said, I did hear like this weird metallic grinding sound. I'm like, well, it lines up with the time that I saw this thing. Then my mom gets home, like, did you see anybody, any vehicles anywhere? Nothing. Nobody saw anything other than me. But there was some noise associated with it. And the last time anything happened was on Christmas Eve. I was getting ready to, go do the whole Christmas thing, and both my lanterns turned on. I just shut them off and went and did the whole Christmas thing. And since then, nothing has happened. It's been weird. It's been really weird. So that's what's happened since November. It's been wild. And you guys have seen the video. It's in this episode. If you're listening to the audio only podcast, go to YouTube and watch this, because me describing it doesn't do it justice. This stuff is fucking freaky.
And usually not caught on camera either.
That's the weirdest part. Like, you hear this shit happening all the time, but nobody ever catches it on camera. I did. And I can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense, but that's part of the tagline for the show. None of this makes any sense. But yeah, I'm still baffled about it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but if it does, I'm going to try and catch it on video again, because you don't get that opportunity very often.
No, you got really lucky.
I don't know if I'd call it lucky.
Right.
But one thing I forgot to mention, my mom was cleaning out a wood stove, and she turned the shop vac off, and then it turned itself back on. So that was something I forgot to mention, and I don't know how I fucking missed this. I don't remember when it was. It's not in my notes, but my sister saw something walk down the hallway. It was like kind of this grayish white human-sized form, and walked past her bedroom door. And the cat saw it too. And she thought it was my mom, but my mom was actually going down the stairs when it happened. So it couldn't have been her. She wasn't anywhere near that area when it happened. So my sister saw something. My mom had a weird experience with an electrical appliance. My sister's boyfriend heard some metallic grinding noise when I saw an orb. So it wasn't just me who experienced these things, and it wasn't just here. Like, people in my life that I'm very close to had shit happen too. So that tells me that I'm not crazy, but it doesn't rule out insanity, because all of the people who had these things happen to them are also kind of fucking crazy.
Hey, now.
You included. I mean, you're my friend. That's a fucking terrible life decision, but I support it. So yeah, all this weird shit happens, and then all of a sudden it just fucking stops with no explanation. It stopped just as randomly as it started. And I regret saying that I'm not a ghost guy, because I'm a fucking ghost guy now. I am on team. There's some kind of, I don't know if it's a ghost.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
Right.
But there's some kind of intelligence fucking with me. And it has been my entire life. This is a new one for me, though. So it's been very exciting.
So I just want to point out, because we both, I wouldn't say we're like professional paranormal researchers, but we know what we're
you went to school for this shit.
Right,
so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I went to, like, we're not actively, like doing this as our job, but I went to school for it. You have an extensive background in it, and yeah, I mean, we're not, we kind of know what we're doing. We're kind of experts, and so I just wanted to point out, like, how crazy it is. First of all, usually it's hard to catch something on camera, especially communication, especially intelligent type of interaction. That's so rare. So the fact that you got that, like the experience that I went through whenever anybody else was around, that's nothing,
Right.
and that was intentional, right?
Yeah. Like, and this seemed intentional too.
Right.
It seemed like it wanted to be seen, and it wanted to be documented.
Right. And see, I got chills right now. That's just
I do
crazy.
too.
What the fuck? And anyway, in addition to that, I also wanted to say, like, the other things that make this really phenomenal is that multiple people witnessed things or experienced things, and it wasn't just like, oh, I saw things or whatever. You saw things, you heard things, and it was definitely using electricity. And it was
Yes, it was.
definitely, I think, from what I saw of your videos, was communicating or interacting with you intelligently.
Yeah,
So that's
there's
crazy,
something intelligent about it for sure.
which means, is that a consciousness? Like that's just
Right.
crazy, right? And we call it a ghost, but who knows. Another thing that makes me like another theory that kind of comes to my mind too is kind of similar to the poltergeist theory, where it's centered
Yep.
around a person. So what if it was centered around you? And because I do feel that we as humans have a lot of abilities that we don't know and understand, and I'm not saying you
Absolutely.
did it, but that's also a possibility too, like with your dad and
Exactly.
all of
Yep.
that
Yep.
stuff. And I just want to point out, like, at some point I'll share a lot of my experience, but it's very similar, especially speaking or communicating through electronics, because that's what was the main source of communication and weird things happening. I'd say like 80 to 90% of it during my experience was through a radio, a TV, a phone,
Yep. So
speakers, things like that.
another thing that I just made a connection to during that Halloween episode, before all of this started happening, I was specifically talking about weak electromagnetic fields and how those seem to
Yes.
be more easily manipulated.
Yep.
And these lanterns, they work off of electromagnetic fields and light.
Right.
So if I kicked all of this off, it was probably through that podcast. And I didn't do it intentionally. Like, I didn't want this fucking shit to happen. It's not like I was like, oh, I'm going to go to bed. I hope that fucking lantern turns on as soon as I close my fucking eyes.
Well, the thing too is, if you would have done that, say, like if you would have tried to be like, I want something to happen for this podcast or whatever,
Nothing would
nothing
have
would have
happened.
happened.
Yeah. Nothing would have happened at all. But I mean, I miss my dad. Absolutely. I miss him every day. But I don't want to fucking talk to his spirit. That's fucking weird. I don't, it's not like I'm out there actively ghost hunting. I used to do that like fucking 20 years ago when I was young and dumb. But I've left all that behind. But it's kind of like the hitchhiker phenomenon. So when you start looking at weird shit, it tends to look back at you. So I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it's still happening, but if it is, it's not doing what it used to.
No.
So it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got to do this episode. It's been awesome. Before we wrap things up, I have a few things that I have to go through. Recently, I've been on this crusade, I want to call it, of working with other podcasts that cover the same topics, because we have two paths that we can take. We can look at these other podcasts and other people looking at this as competition, or we can all work together and try and get this information out. And I'm on the team of, it's better to get the information out than to be fighting with anyone or competing for clicks, because that's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So recently, I've not talked about this on the podcast ever before, but I've been a very dedicated listener to a very specific podcast for about close to 20 years. It's Australian and it's called Mysterious Universe. And if things didn't happen the way that they happened at the end of last year, you wouldn't be watching this podcast, because I actually sent in an audition for Shonna and I to be the new hosts of Mysterious Universe, because the guys that started it are moving on to a different podcast and they were picking new hosts. So we applied. We didn't get chosen, obviously, but the new guys that got chosen are actually American. One's in Texas and the other's in California. So I pitched them a show idea, and I talked to Joe from Mysterious Universe. If you're hearing this, what's up, Joe? I'm the guy from the San Luis Valley. So I pitched them a show about the San Luis Valley because nobody ever covers it. And these guys are awesome. They're very professional. They do a great job. They're funnier than me, which is a plus because sometimes these paranormal podcasts can just be fucking dry and boring as hell. So I want to give a shout out to them, and they're doing great work. So if you want to check them out, you can go to mysteriousuniverse.org. They have a free episode every Friday. They also have a paid membership, which I've been a subscriber to for very many years. It's totally worth it. They cover things very well. And also on TikTok, we got a follow from another paranormal podcast called Creepy Culture. What's up, Jen? Yes, I'm shouting you out on Gustin time. She does a great job too. She gets all of these people to just come on and tell their experiences. It's a really cool show. You can find her on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So definitely check out those podcasts. A lot of great work going on. I listen to podcasts pretty much 24 hours a day. I listen to them in my sleep. I listen to them while I'm chopping wood, just constantly because I'm obsessed with this stuff. But those two really stick out, and they're great podcasts. And if you're listening to this or watching this, check them out. If it's for you, great. If not, give them a follow and a like anyway. I mean, we're all trying to help each other out because this is important information, and nobody really talks about it other than the UFO side, which we'll get into that at some point. I have a lot of problems with what's going on in that area. But yeah, I just wanted to give them a shout out and say, you guys are doing great work. Keep it up. We're going to keep doing what we're doing because I think it's important. So there's my tirade and my rant. Any other thoughts, ideas?
Well, I'll give a shout out to another podcast. I mean, this is a very large podcast. But Next Level Soul. I don't know if you've ever
I have not,
listened.
but I'm going to look it up as soon as we're done with this.
Yeah, if you've ever listened to him. He does a lot of interviews of people that have had near-death experiences. So I went down a rabbit hole on there. Amazing. He has amazing guests. And also I was kind of introduced to channeling. So
Oh boy.
he has a lot of guests on there who channel different whatever you want entities, I guess. But that has been really eye-opening because I had never really, especially because he's on YouTube too, so you can
Yeah.
see, and so you can see these people chant, and that just, I mean, I don't know what I think about that, but so many different people are doing it, and so I'm just going to give a shout out to that podcast because I actually recommend it to a lot of people who, for the near-death experience guests that he's had, because they're just so in-depth and such great stories and guests. It really, even just listening to their stories, aside from my own experiences that I've had, just really makes me feel at ease about what happens when we die and that kind of stuff. So I've recommended it to a lot of people who've lost loved ones. So yeah, I'll give them a shout out because that's been I've watched a lot of episodes of that, and it's uplifting. A lot of it is. So yeah, I recommend that one.
I've watched I don't know how many channeling videos. You can find some real fucking comedy gold in some of those.
It's wild.
I saw this. I don't know if the channel's still around. I don't remember what it was called, but it was these two ladies, and they were channeling tree spirits.
You told me about that.
So basically, there's this one lady. She's the main one, and she's channeling the tree spirits, and the trees are telling her all this crazy shit. And the other one, the only thing she seems to do is just dance around in the background and goes, "That's true. That's true." And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But
well, you gotta check. You got to check out this podcast because these people are very professional about it and very I highly
I have
recommend.
seen a lot of the crazy ones.
Yeah,
I
these
haven't
ones are
seen
not so
too many
crazy.
that are like professional. I've seen a lot of the crazy ones, like this
Yeah.
one lady that was talking in a weird Australian accent. That one was weird. That's actually a documentary I watched not too long ago. But yeah, channeling is something crazy, man. I
Yeah,
like some of those. I've seen some good ones, but it's like they're not there anymore. It's
right.
something else. So
Yeah. It's
uh,
interesting
I
nonetheless. No
I
matter
think
what
it's
it is, like
yeah,
it's still
yeah,
interesting.
it is. It is very interesting. You can find some really good humor in there too. Um, let's see what's new with Gustin time. A lot. So if you haven't been paying attention to the YouTube channel, I've been doing a lot of dumb shit because I like to bring a lot of comedy into this. So I have a couple of new segments I've been doing on YouTube. One is SG26 photo analysis with Dr. James Z. Beelzebub III. He takes photos and artist renditions of weird shit and runs them through this software called SG26. It's fucking hilarious. And on the last episode, he got interrupted by local thug and notorious asshole, motherfucking ice cold Jimmy G. So Jimmy G just kicks his ass and invades, and it's hilarious. But out of that, Jimmy G has a new show. There's one episode out now. Jimmy G watched this documentary called Behind the Curve. It's about flat Earth. And he decided that he was going to do a show about that. And his new show, breaking all of the rules of YouTube, there's actually an age restriction on it. So if you're under 18 years old, you can't even watch it. And it's mostly because of the title. Jimmy G's new show is called Motherfucker Shut Up. So if you're looking for a break from all of this ghost and weird UFO and alien shit, and you look for some comedy, go over to Gustin Time and check that stuff out. It's pretty funny, I think. But then again, I'm the one talking to myself. So I think it's pretty good. But it's a lot of fun, and that's going to go as long as I want to do it. And the other thing that I've been doing this year, I just did episode number 4, uploaded that yesterday. I got a cool deck of cards for Christmas, and it is cryptids. It's called the Cryptid Creatures playing card deck. There's 52 different cryptids. So every week I choose a card out of the deck, and we learn a little bit about a cryptid. And 3 out of 4 times that I've done this, I've gotten a cryptid I've never heard of before. So if you want to learn more about cryptids, that's where you fucking go. It's awesome. It's so fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's what I do all the time.
Well, and you inspired me to maybe tell my cryptid story.
I think I remember that one. Does it have something to do with the shape of a basketball?
Uh, Maybe. I don't know. A little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm curious if there's anything in your deck that even comes close.
Well, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, no, I don't think so. But I could be completely wrong. We've talked about a lot of weird shit over the years, so
Yeah.
it's all in here somewhere. But I'm getting to the age where stuff just kind of falls out of my head.
Yeah.
And I forget a lot of things. So I've had to change my Facebook password 3 times in the last week because I just don't remember it.
That's pretty bad, 3 times in a week.
Well, I mean, I had some issues with my phone, and that was 2 of them. So, well, one was the computer, one was the phone. But it's a miracle that we got to do this today because I had some bullshit to deal with my phone today. I don't know, it worked out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've rambled on long enough. This is going to be a long episode. So,
Indeed.
I guess we're going to end it here. Remember, none of this makes any sense. And until next time, we'll see you in time. All right. Bye, everybody. Or in the words of Jimmy G, peace, bitch.
What up, fool? It's me, motherfucking ice cold Jimmy G. And I paid for this advertisement time to let y'all know about my new show on the Gustin Time Network called Motherfucker Shut Up. Join me every Saturday for Motherfucker Shut Up, where I take some bullshit that I find on the internet and I tell you why these motherfuckers need to shut up. If you missed it, the first episode, available now at youtube.com/@GustinTimePodcast1. The first episode of Motherfucker Shut Up is all about the flat earth and how these motherfuckers who think the earth is flat need to shut up. So yeah, join me, fool, for Motherfucker Shut Up every Saturday on the Gustin Time Network. Motherfucking ice cold Jimmy G. Peace, bitch. Good for me and good for you. I hope you learn something, fool. Ground them kids and drink on up. This has been Motherfucker Shut Up.